Hi everyone. So my name is Lena and I haven't done this in a while. I haven't had a guest, I guess, on my channel for a little while. And today I have a privilege of speaking with Amina. Amina lives in Cape Town, sunny South Africa. And we met through a networking events, actually American networking event a couple of months ago. So both Amina and I share something in common. We both used to be in IT. And we had this kind of wake up moments where we realized that there is a lot more to life than the jobs, where we felt, I guess, stuck and unfulfilled. But there's a difference there, massive difference. Amina had this, well, she has this incredible gift that she was gifted, I guess. And that's something I really want to talk more about today. So, Amina, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here and talk to you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine, thanks, Selena. Thank you for having me.
Brilliant. So can you just tell us more about yourself, about background and actually what happened to you to make this career, the transition, I guess?
Okay, so as you've mentioned, I've been in IT. I was in IT for over 20 years as a systems engineer. And at some point, I realized that I wanted to work with the body. And I left my permanent job and I studied kinesiology. I enjoyed that, especially the nutritional aspect, the healing, the emotional healing aspect. And during that time, I'd met several spiritual people, but I'd never met people like that before. And I wasn't really spiritual, I was just moving along in life. And these people said to me at some point something was going to happen in my life. I was going to change, or there was going to be some shift. But three or four different people at different times between 2010 and 2017, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And then 2017 hit, and my household got turned completely upside down. Um, I started seeing angels and hearing angels, and they were giving me messages. And I'm very grounded and pragmatic, so I knew I wasn't going crazy. I thought something's happening, and this is not normal. But I embraced it at the time, and I went along with whatever was being shown and explained. But it was much deeper than that. I didn't know anything about a spiritual awakening. I only discovered that the beginning of the year, this year, 2020, when people were posting Facebook posts about a spiritual awakening, and I'm thinking, oh, so that's what it's called. Um, and yeah, so I went through 3.5 years, tumultuous 3.5 years, um, of trying to figure out what God is trying to show me behind the veils, um, because I got to see lots of things. I got to see the dead people and the living people and different planets and God in heaven, the heavens, just so many different things. And during that time, I was gifted certain abilities. They sort of developed in the past 2.5 years. So now I'm able to assess any illness in a body, no matter where in the world someone is. I'm able to tell them where in the body they have a lack of an enzyme or a mineral, what is draining the body of calcium or iron, um, what path that they're on. And this is very recent, where I'm able to see someone wants to go and do IT, for example, and I can see that the path that they're on is may not be good for them in terms of IT, maybe marketing or real estate may be better options for them, for example, and I can see where the path will actually take them to. So I'm using the abilities that have been given to me over the past 2.5 years to assist people who feel stuck in their life, who are uncertain about which path to take, those who have emotional trauma. Sometimes people go to psychologists and psychiatrists, and I'm in no way being condescending at all. It's just that because of the insight that I have, I'm able to pinpoint more specifically at which point in their life trauma occurred. It may not be a conscious trauma, it could be on a cellular level. And this could affect people at a young age and develop into lupus, Crohn's disease, cancer, fibromyalgia, for example. So when you're able to find the onset of the cellular trauma, I can assist the body in releasing it. I have one client that walks into my therapy room and everything just disappears. All her illnesses just appears the minute she walks in. So those are some of the gifts that I'm able to do. And for example, on a personal level, one of my son's friends went missing just about a week ago. They couldn't find him for 7 to 8 hours. I didn't know until my son told me the evening. He said, "Mom, my friend's been missing for 7 or 8 hours. He was supposed to meet us, and they didn't know where he was." The minute he told me, I could see that his friend had been hijacked. And I said to my son, "Oh my God, he's been hijacked." And they found him about 2 hours later, and he had been hijacked. So there are things that I have access to that I never had access to before. And for example, I am able to tell you what leaves and roots are able to heal people from, or of, no matter where the tree is in the world. For example, if someone comes to me and says, "I'd like to find a cure for cancer," I may be able to give them that information. Or cure for HIV/AIDS, I may be able to give that information to them. So there's a lot of information that I have that I'd like to share with people, but I just don't know who to get hold of. So it's just all this information that I have. Yeah.
It can be pretty overwhelming, I think, knowing how much information you have, how much good you can do, but yet don't really know who to turn to, right? Because I guess if, like I think we spoke about it last time, if you had to tell the story to, I don't know, like let's say walk into the hospital to some scientific labs, I don't think, they will completely resonate with it. So it's just finding, just basically getting your message out there. So have you managed to connect or actually even help some people? So you were talking about the cure for cancer, for AIDS, and for things like that. Were you able to actually do you have clients who you have helped in that way?
Yes, I had a client with Crohn's disease and cancer, and she'd been sick in the early 30s, and she'd been sick for about 7 years, and she'd been in and out of doctors, and then her father referred her to me. And her Crohn's developed because of severe trauma, and the trauma was really severe. And she'd been going to a psychologist for years, and I said to her, "We can't actually discuss that trauma because it was too severe. It may aggravate cellular healing." So I said, "We're not going to discuss that." And I put on a specific diet. I got her into to do her favorite sport, and she went into detox for about 1 month, severe detoxing. And then 2 months later, she went to a doctor, and they found no trace of a cancer or the Crohn's disease at all.
That's incredible.
So it's sort of identifying the cause of the onset of the trauma, and really working with the body to work out the trauma. I had another client, an older man, who tried to commit suicide about 2 years ago, and he was taken to psychiatrist, given psychotic meds, but his body's immune system was shutting down, causing him to have brain fatigue, and he was unable to function properly because there was so much fatigue in his system. So I put him on a diet, and after 2 weeks, he was completely fine. He was off, so it was really identifying that it wasn't really a mental problem, but a physical problem that he was having. And yeah, so that's some of I healed a fractured finger that someone hurt in a game of cricket in 10 seconds. I sort of pulled the fracture out of his finger. I didn't know I could do that until I did it. So yeah, so those are, I had another client who someone jumped on her back and fractured her spine. She was walking at a almost 45-degree angle when she came to me. And I massaged her for 20 minutes, and her spine healed completely in 20 minutes. So, and again, I didn't know I could do that until I did it.
So do you use like energy healing for cases like that? Or how do you?
I think it really is, because part of this journey that I'd experienced is right at the start, 3.5 years back. I was told that The gifts I'm being given is for a purpose, and I'm here for a reason. It's got a lot to do with the angels' assistance and the divine assistance. Um, and a lot of my clients, actually, I've got a young 20-year-old who said to me, when I sit around you, I just see this ball of light around you. And right at the start of my journey, I was told by the angel there are certain people who may be able to see the light around you. Very few people, and she was one of them. She only told me this about 3 weeks back. And so I know various people have come to me over the past couple of months saying that they feel that I'm here for a bigger purpose. So um, people, I've got a lady in India who, when something goes wrong, she messages me and she says, I just thought I'd let you know that I can't find this, because I know when I send you the message, I find it. Or if I send you the message, then I'm able to work things out. So again, I think there's a lot of divine assistance coming to my clients in ways that I cannot explain.
That's incredible. But what was it first time like for you, you know, when you felt this, I guess, awakening, and that, was it pretty scary, or how did you cope with it?
Um, when it started, I was very open to it, and I thought, oh, okay, um, I'm not too deep a thinker. I'm very, I think on a very surface level until I need to think deeply, especially in the work that I do. So one of the first things that I encountered, I suffered from scoliosis. I think I had a 35-degree curve in my lower spine. And one morning I was sitting in bed, this was in 2017, and I sat in bed and I said, you know, God, I'm going away on a trip in a few weeks' time. Can you please assist me with my back? It causes me significant fatigue. And a week later, my spine was straight. Um, so my scoliosis disappeared in 1 week. And that was one of the first for me personally. And I thought, okay, so there are sort of miracles happening. And another one, I suffered from vertigo. That's one of the reasons I left my permanent job. And I was told by the angels that years back, something had fallen on my head. I had gone for an MRI and they said there was a hairline fracture. They said the thing that fell on my head caused a blockage in one of the arteries. And so they asked me, and that was causing the onset of the vertigo, and they asked me to cough. And I coughed, and I coughed the blood clot out into my hand. And then I haven't suffered from vertigo since. So that was another, yeah, I know.
That's yeah, that's pretty scary, to cough a blood clots into your hands. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. Wow.
yes. So those were sort of, that was in the first year when I was sort of learning about the angels. I mean, I see them now. They guide me. I hear them a lot in terms of the healing that I do, because they will assist me in saying, this may be wrong with that person. You know, for example, I had a friend yesterday, and I could tell as she was sitting, I said, your iron level is significantly low, and it's causing problems with the pineal gland, and that was draining the iron level in the system. And even though she was taking supplements, she still had a low iron level. So I'm able to pick that up in the system when people ask for my assistance. So yeah.
I hope you told her to stop using fluoride toothpaste and get off the phone, because I know those two things can really block your pineal, fluoride and also the EMF, electromagnetic radiation, something we spoke earlier, that really affects our pineal glands.
Yeah, and I think also what people miss in terms of the health and wellness industry is when they assess someone, they need to assess someone holistically. So I can see there's a physical structure, and I can see there's the spirit and the aura. And you need to work with the spirit, because that's part of the human structure. So when someone is in an environment that is not conducive to the spirit, that also affects the pineal gland. So because she's so confined in her space that she's in, it affects her ability to be free as she wants to be. So she's confined because of COVID and and all this sort of stuff. And I said to her, you need to be outside. Your spirit needs the fresh air. You just need sunshine D, vitamin D, and that also assists in easing the pineal gland as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, that sounds amazing. So if, where can people find you? If somebody, do you also, by the way, do you offer services online or people have to see you physically?
No, I offer them online. Most of my clients are overseas, and there are those within Cape Town that would prefer to see me face to face, and then they come to my therapy space. But many of my clients I do online.
So where can people find you?
So I have a website. It's called integrativetherapy.co.za. I also do business alignment because I can see where the structure of the business may be faltering in terms of is the CEO or the managers maybe not being placed correctly, or do they have limitations in terms of what they do. So I have a business called Eden Alignment, EdenBusinessAlignment.com as well.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. It was really, really interesting to talk to you and find out more, how you help people. I'm sure there's so many people out there who could really benefit from what you're doing. So I will share your details underneath the video. So for anybody wanting to get hold of Amina, the details will be on the video, either in the comments below or as part of the slides. So please get in touch with her. Thanks again, and lovely to have you. Enjoy the rest of your day, Amina, and thank you all for watching and listening to us.